Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Power has been restored to Atlanta's airport, but trouble for holiday travelers is far from over. I'm Roxana Saberi in New York with how flights across the country have been affected.
And closer to home, authorities have released the identity of a man killed in a crash in Butte on Friday. We'll have that update. But first, right now, 6:31, Matt joins us. Weather not too bad right now, but literally the calm before the storm is what you're telling us.
Yeah, I think there's a chance of snow tonight, but really it's midweek and late week that we see the big changes in the forecast. You're not going to want to miss those. Let's go over our temperatures right now. Most areas, look at this, 42 degrees.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Let me say that again. It's 42 degrees.
Driving with the windows down.
Yeah, we haven't had daytime highs that warm over the last few days. It looks like we'll probably see these temperatures drop. The wind really doing a big number with our temperatures early in the day. The wind speed's expected to pick up as you head into the afternoon for southwest Montana. Late in the week, good chance of snow back in the forecast. We're going to talk in depth about what you can expect as we get a little closer to Christmas. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Matt. Now 6:32 here on your Monday. And not only our top story this morning, but the top story of the weekend, no doubt about it. The lights are finally back on at Atlanta International Airport, the busiest airport in the world.
Yeah, that outage lasted more than several hours, disrupted travel around the nation at one of the busiest travel times of the year, the week before Christmas. CBS's Roxana Saberi has more on what's next for the thousands of stranded travelers.
Full power has been restored to the world's busiest airport, more than 10 hours after a power outage early Sunday afternoon brought Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport to a standstill.
Well, it was great when the lights came on. That was exciting.
Georgia power officials say a fire in an underground electrical facility knocked the power out. They believe it was sparked by a switchgear that failed, grounding more than 1,000 flights in Atlanta.
That fire caused multiple faults on our system, and those faults affected the multiple power sources that we have for the airport.
Officials say the location and intensity of the fire cut off both primary and backup power. While travelers inside the terminals were left in limbo, passengers on planes were stuck on the runways, some for several hours.
We left San Diego at 4 a.m. We sat on the tarmac for 6 hours. I have my 5-month-old with me.
With so many flights traveling through or to Atlanta, the effects are rippling to airports throughout the country, including here at New York's LaGuardia. Several domestic and international flights have been canceled or diverted. This was the scene in Tampa, Florida.
Last Friday, my flight was canceled to Atlanta when it snowed. I feel like I've had so many issues with the Atlanta airport.
Some industry experts predict that with few open seats on other flights the week before Christmas, it could take a few days before travel returns to normal in Atlanta. Roxana Saberi, CBS News, New York.
One bright spot, Delta says customers flying to, from, or through Atlanta through tomorrow can make a one-time change to their travel plans for free.
Wow, that actually is really nice. In other news, a little bit closer to home, the Butte coroner has identified the victim in Friday's fatal crash as 32-year-old Cole Davis. Davis was killed in a two-vehicle crash on South Harrison Avenue on Friday night. Police say that Davis died after his vehicle was struck at about 10:30 p.m. Davis was pulling out of the Copper King Hotel parking lot when a southbound vehicle collided with him. This is all according to police. The investigation is ongoing at this time.
Staying in the mining city, about 8,000 Northwestern Energy customers in Butte lost power for around an hour early Sunday morning. According to a Northwest Energy spokesperson, Butch Laricombe, crews were notified of the outage around 11:20 in the morning. They proceeded to a substation on the southern end of Montana Street. Upon inspecting the substation, crews found a dead bird inside. They were able to repair the damage and quickly restore power to those affected customers. In the event of future outages, you can check out Northwestern Energy's outage map for updates.
The $28.6 million airport parking deck is about to hit the ground running at the Bozeman International Airport. Sletten Construction started dropping off their heavy equipment on Friday to start working on the 1,100 stall, fully covered, multi-use parking garage. According to the airport director, they are going to have to remove one of the buildings that's close to the airport's southeast entrance to another location before the groundbreaking can be done.
Absolutely. Our contractor for the new parking garage actually has started work, and we expect that to be a major project over the next 18 months.
Construction is projected to be completed on June 1st of 2019.
In other construction news, work began this week to lower the number of deer that have made Helena their homes for more than 10 years. Helena police say they're looking for more private property owners to take part in the program.
This is where they live. They feel comfortable. They feel comfortable around people. They feel comfortable around pets at times. And, you know, in the wild, they probably wouldn't react quite the same way. But in the city, they've become, this is their habitat. They're used to it.
We've had as many as 23 in the yard here.
For the past week, the city of Helena has been removing mule deer from capital city neighborhoods. The culling program has been up and running since 2008.
About 10, 15 years ago, we started seeing more and more deer in the city. You know, when I started, you rarely saw a deer in the city. That was pretty uncommon. And it's just become more and more common. And we've removed almost about 1,000 deer, and it's been approximately 30,000 pounds of venison has been donated to Food Share.
We know the doe who produced the fawns, and we see the fawns, and we see them grow up.
Life is pretty swell for deer living in town.
They bed down and they also give birth in this soil here.
It's easy eating in the city. Some of it, the drought we had for a while, the heavy drought, I think, drove them in. And they've just decided this is a good place to stay. And I think other cities around Montana are starting to see it.
The deer that call Helena neighborhoods home generate conflicts, damage to property, and confrontations with pets and people.
And then we were having, not a lot, but quite a few animals, pets, and even people that were being challenged and attacked by the deer at times.
A doe was here with her fawns, and a little dog came around the corner and it freaked the doe out and she jumped on it. And it didn't kill the dog, but it hurt it. And I just thought if that had been a child.
The deer are trapped and dispatched on private property, and Helena police would like to access more land to help keep the deer numbers in check.
Usually citizens that are having quite a few concerns about deer in their yard or their neighborhood will call us, and we're just asking if there's other citizens out there that are having concerns, want to have a trap put in their yard, to get a hold of us.
Reporting from Helena, Dennis Carlson, MTN News.
Wow. To learn more, you can visit us online.
And President Trump is continuing to face heat from environmental organizations over the announcement that he and the Secretary of Interior, Ryan Zinke, would downsize several national monuments in Utah by roughly 2 million acres. The coalition of 10 conservation groups alongside the Hopi, Navajo Nation, Pueblo of Zuni, Ute, and Mountain Ute tribe also are suing Mr. Trump himself, Interior Zinke, and the Bureau of Land Management. The controversial decision was supported by Utah's Republican senators who stressed reducing the size of government-controlled land in Utah. Montana senators are split on that issue and spoke to MTN after the announcement of the rollback almost 2 weeks ago.
And that is, I support Secretary Zinke. What he's trying to do here is allow the states to have a louder voice in this process versus having Washington, D.C. bureaucrats or the executive branch of our government, I think, overreach and have too much power wielding that over the states. It's important that we allow public use of our public lands.
The monuments across this country have spurred incredible amount of economy in our outdoor industries. They've supported jobs. They've improved quality of life. And I think rolling back these monuments just undermines local public support for these things.
Now, of course, we'll have a lot more to follow on that, but it is time for a quick break in the meantime. Coming up on Montana this morning, an Australian being accused of trying to sell missile parts for North Korea.
We'll have that story, but first let's check in with Nora O'Donnell in New York for a look at what's coming up at 7 on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead here on CBS This Morning, we're in Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport with the investigation into the major power outage. And we'll talk with Peter Greenberg about the far-reaching impact on passengers. Also, the effort to create the first car that can travel more than 1,000 miles an hour. We'll see you at 7.